Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, who is in fact facing federal corruption charges for the second time, is now considering throwing his wife Nadine, under the bus. That's what he's gonna do, maybe. Okay, this is according to newly released court filings, and the only reason why we have access to the court filings is because a group of journalists fought to make them public. But here's what we know. So Menendez may claim that she, his wife, hid information from him, leading him to believe that nothing unlawful was taking place, according to court papers unsealed on Tuesday. Now, if you're wondering, well, what exactly did he engage in? He is accused of essentially selling his influence in order to get bribes from foreign governments, including Egypt and Qatar. So, as the person who used to be the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, he had to step down from that position because of these new charges. You would think that he would understand that by doing these deals and taking money and gold bars from foreign entities, he's probably doing something wrong. I mean, I don't think I would need my partner to mislead me to engage in that activity, not knowing that it's wrong. It's wrong, you know it's wrong. Like, it's ridiculous to throw his wife under the bus. Yeah. And by the way, his wife is corrupt. She's facing charges herself. She's gonna be tried in a separate trial. But I just find it so, this is a perfect example, no honor among thieves.
Yes, but there's might be a couple of legal reasons why they're doing this. But I do love the idea that Bob Menendez was like, I don't know where all those gold bars came from. And I just never even asked. I mean, there was gold bars all over the house, and I just figured, she was into gold.
Listen, nothing suspicious about having gold bars in your home. I mean, everyone does it, don't they?
Yeah, and I think the money was stuffed into his suits. So when he put on a suit, was he like, my wife stuffed it with money again? I guess that's how she likes to, decorate or something. It never occurred to him that it might be corruption.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
So there's more. So the revelation that he might throw his wife under the bus was contained in 2 sentences in a legal brief filed by Mr. Menendez's lawyers, who had asked a judge to keep them secret because they detailed a trial strategy that, if made public, would surely garner significant media attention, correct, and bias the jury pool. That I don't know about. Now, according to the newly unsealed sentences, Menendez may testify at his trial, and if he does, he would disclose communications with his wife, Miss Menendez, that would tend to exonerate him, but may incriminate his wife. So here's the wording from the exact wording from the filing itself. While these explanations and the marital communications on which they rely will tend to exonerate Senator Menendez by demonstrating the absence of any improper intent on Senator Menendez's part, they may inculpate Nadine by demonstrating the ways in which she withheld information from Senator Menendez or otherwise led him to believe that nothing unlawful was taking place, the documents state. That manipulative, tricky, sketchy wife, that poor Bob Menendez, he didn't do anything wrong. He was just led astray by that naughty, naughty wife.
Yeah.
Come on.
First of all, it seems really classy.
Right.
Right, and if you're gonna stay in politics too, that's the best way to go. Hey guys, look, it wasn't me, it was my goddamn wife. Hashtag family values. Okay, so now look, there's a couple of reasons why they might be doing this. Since they're in split trials, there's some chance that Menendez will say, it was my wife, and then when her trial starts after his, if he gets acquitted, they then turn around and go, no, it was Bob. But remember, you can't try someone for the same crime twice, right? So then they could go, ha ha, messing with you, it doesn't matter that we're lying. Okay, try us on perjury, which is a much lower charge. And you're gonna be much more reluctant to try a senator on a low charge like perjury if they mix up their stories. And of course, they're not just gonna say, it was my wife, no, it was me. They're gonna use language that's gonna make it kind of fuzzy around the edges. So maybe they could avoid a perjury charge too. So I don't know that they're gonna do that for sure, but that is one reason they might be doing this. Another reason is that you have a privilege when you're married, like you do with a doctor or a lawyer, but those privileges are complicated. They're not blanket privileges, but in this case, it's possible that he could say, it was my wife. She uses spousal privilege not to testify.
Oh.
And then everybody thinks it was the wife. And then at her trial, they do the same exact trick. She says, it was my husband. He chooses spousal privilege not to testify. And then they both get off.
Oh my God.
Okay, and remember, the two juries are gonna have no connection. They're not gonna know each other. They're not gonna know the other cases. And so they could be totally in the dark, and one jury could really think it was the wife and acquit the husband, and the other jury could really think that it was the husband and acquit the wife.
So don't get fooled by the negative optics for Bob Menendez in attempting this strategy. This strategy might actually be something that he and his wife have consulted each other on, with each other on, and have decided this as a strategy to essentially get off.
100%. So now, look, it's 100% possibility. It's not definite. Number one, we don't know their intent yet. We only know what's been leaked. Number two, there is another possibility, which is that he's a slimy politician who stuffs gold bullion into his pants. So like the idea of betraying his wife is Tuesday for him and doesn't think twice about it. But the reason why I don't think it's that is because they don't seem to have an acrimonious relationship right now. They're not getting divorced, they're not separated. They don't, publicly at least, there doesn't seem to be a divide between them.
They seem thick as thieves.
If you will, exactly. And so, and if they stay married, they get to use the privilege. So the fact that they aren't separated or divorced, especially after this traumatic event. Remember, if it was just one of them and the other one was surprised by it, would you stay in that marriage? Would you be like, are you kidding me? I'm a US senator and you went around my back and took all these bribes and people think it's me? What the hell did you do that for? Does it look like Menendez is having that reaction? It doesn't look like it, right?
No.
So this is probably just a weaselly, slimy trick by one of the grossest politicians in America to try to avoid responsibility for what looks like obvious, over-the-top bribes that he took from foreign governments.
Oh, it's so disgusting. Well, we'll see if Cenk's prediction comes to fruition. But for now, he looks like a slime ball. He is a slime ball. The fact that he was previously charged with federal corruption charges and got off. This was back in 2015 because the jury couldn't come to an agreement about him being guilty is so infuriating. And if he gets off again because of this legal strategy, that would also be incredibly infuriating.
And last thing, guys, remember the Supreme Court loves bribery. So if he appeals it all the way to the Supreme Court, they've already legalized bribery for campaign contributions, independent expenditures, and all of those things. But on top of that, when there's been brazen bribery, Governor McDonnell in Virginia, Governor Christie's associates in New Jersey, the Supreme Court each time has said, I don't see any bribes. Hey, you know what? Wealthy donors stuffing the pockets of politicians or Supreme Court justices, giving them fancy vacations and fancy presents. That's not bribery, no way. So if Alito and Thomas and all those guys also have gold bullion in their closet and money stuffed into their suits, if Menendez, who's a Democrat, goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, they might still be like, I don't see any bribery. Nope, free to go. All the elites are always free to go.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a young Turk.